Your alarm goes off, you silence it. You reach for your phone before your eyes are even fully open. But the real answer to how a day should start is far stranger than that. For most of human existence, nothing woke you up except light. No sound, no screen, just the sun crossing some invisible line and your body, almost on its own, deciding it was time. Imagine waking up like that. No clock, no alarm, just your eyes opening because the world around you got brighter. This is what a single day looked like for a human being roughly 50,000 years ago. Not a special day, not a dramatic one, just an ordinary Tuesday. If Tuesdays had existed yet, you wake at first light in the gray hour before sunrise. Your body has already been preparing for this moment for hours. Researcher Jerome Siegel, who studied sleep patterns in 3 modern hunter-gatherer societies, found that pre-industrial humans don't fall asleep the moment it gets dark. They wait, they talk by the fire, they wind down slowly, and then they sleep through most of the night in one long stretch, waking naturally with the light. No melatonin gummies, no blue light filters, just biology doing what it has always done. You sit up, your body is sore in a way that modern bodies rarely are, not from a workout, from living. The first thing on your mind isn't email, it's water. Somewhere nearby, there's a source you already know. A stream, a spring, a pool from last night's rain. You walk to it. This walking isn't exercise, it's just Tuesday. Anthropologists estimate that hunter-gatherers cover somewhere between 5 and 9 miles a day, almost all of it on foot, almost none of it intentional. Movement wasn't something you scheduled. It was something you couldn't avoid. You drink, you splash water on your face. The cold is sharp, and for a second, it's the only thing in the world. Then comes food. Not breakfast in the way you understand it. There is no pantry. There is no fridge hum in the background. There is only the question every single morning of your entire life. What is there to eat today? Most of that food is plants. Roots, tubers, nuts, fruit if you're lucky with the season. Despite the popular image of humans as constant hunters, anthropological data suggests that gathering, mostly done communally, provided the majority of daily calories in most hunter-gatherer societies. Meat was the celebration, plants were the meal. You move in a small group, maybe family, maybe something closer to friends, though that word didn't exist yet, either. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar proposed that the human brain evolved to comfortably manage relationships with around 150 people, not 150 strangers. 150 people whose voices you'd recognize, whose moods you could read, whose history with you mattered. Your entire social world, every person you would ever know, fits inside a number smaller than most people's Instagram followers. You talk while you walk, not small talk, not filler. Conversation in this world is information. Where the berries were thinner this year. Which animal tracks crossed the path at dawn? Whose child has a cough that hasn't gone away? Midday, the group stops. The sun is high and so is the temperature. This is when you rest, not because you're lazy, but because your body, like every other body around you, understands heat as a real threat. There is no air conditioning. There is only shade, stillness, and patience. This is also when danger feels closest. Not a dramatic, cinematic kind of danger, a quiet, background hum of it. Every rustle in the grass gets a half second of attention before your brain decides whether to relax. Psychologists call this threat detection bias, and it's not a flaw. It's the reason your ancestors are your ancestors at all. The ones who ignored the rustle didn't always get to pass on their genes. You still have this wiring. It's why a strange noise in your house at 2 a.m. makes your heart rate spike before your conscious mind has even processed what you heard. As the afternoon stretches on, the group returns toward camp. Not a permanent structure. Maybe a familiar clearing, used for a season, maybe longer. Fire is already part of daily life by this point in human history, and researcher Richard Wrangham has argued that cooking food may be one of the single most important developments in human evolution. Cooked food is easier to digest, releases more calories, and may have freed up energy that the body redirected towards something remarkable, a larger brain. So in a very real sense, the fire in front of you right now is part of the reason you're capable of reading this sentence at all. As evening comes, the rhythm of the day changes completely. This is the part modern life has almost entirely erased. The group gathers around the fire, and here's where things get interesting, because researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, including work led by anthropologist Polly Weissner, found that daytime conversation among these communities is mostly practical, logistics, complaints, information. But nighttime conversation around the fire shifts dramatically towards something else entirely: stories, myths, histories, jokes, gossip about people who aren't there. The kind of talk that builds shared identity instead of solving an immediate problem. Firelight does something to a conversation. It slows it down. There's no task to rush toward, no tomorrow's meeting to prepare for. Just the orange light, the sound of other voices, and the quiet understanding that everyone around this fire is, in some sense, your whole world. Why does this matter to you, scrolling through a feed of strangers tonight? Because that fire is still inside you. The craving for a slow, unhurried story told by people who know you. The comfort of a small circle instead of an infinite one. You feel the absence of it even when you can't name what's missing. As the fire burns lower, people start drifting toward sleep. Not because of a bedtime, because the dark, combined with the day's exertion, makes it almost impossible to stay awake much longer. You lie down. There is no mattress, no climate control, no white noise machine. There is the ground, the warmth of bodies nearby, and the sound of the fire settling into embers. Somewhere, an owl calls. You barely register it. Your nervous system has already decided this sound, in this place, with these people, is safe. Sleep comes in one long stretch. The same long stretch your body still tries to find every single night, even now, even with a phone glowing 6 inches from your face at 11 p.m. And then, at first light, it begins again. This was not an exceptional day. This was every day, repeated for hundreds of thousands of years, until something around it changed: electricity, agriculture, cities. But the body inside the routine didn't get the memo. You still wake easier with light than with sound. You still crave movement your modern life rarely demands. You still want a small circle of people who actually know your name instead of a feed of people who don't. You still flinch at strange noises in the dark. You still feel something settle in your chest around a fire, even if it's just a candle on a kitchen table. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. But somewhere underneath that switch, your body is still waiting for the fire.